Let me take you back to that ordinary March morning in my Denver apartment. I was 34, had just wrapped a huge product launch at the tech firm where I worked as a senior project manager. And my bonus check was sitting in my account like a small promise of finally catching up on my own life. The doorbell rang, and I opened it to find a thin priority mail envelope from Nebraska. My heart did this little hopeful flip. Maybe Mom and Dad had finally sent something thoughtful for my birthday. Inside were 5 crumpled coupons. Each one expired since December. They were for a local Midwest department store chain that had gone belly up right before the holidays. 20% off kitchen gadgets. Buy one get one on linens. A free tote bag with $50 spent. Worthless scraps of glossy paper now. Tucked with them was a note in Mom's neat handwriting. Happy birthday, sweetheart. We know you love hunting for deals. Hope these brighten your day. Love. Mom and Dad. I stood there in my kitchen, still in pajamas, staring at those coupons like they might suddenly become plane tickets or a heartfelt card. Instead, they felt like the final, quiet insult after years of me pouring everything I had into them. I texted back a simple, wonderful with a smiley emoji. They probably read it as gratitude. But in that moment, something inside me shifted. That single word was the first crack in the dam I'd been holding back for too long. My name is Ava Reynolds. At 34, I'd built a solid career in Denver's tech scene, managing teams on software rollouts that kept companies running smoothly. The salary was good, enough that I could have been saving aggressively for a down payment on a bigger place or finally taking that trip to the mountains I'd always talked about. But most of it had been flowing east to the small town outside Omaha where my parents lived in the house I'd been covering the mortgage on for 5 straight years. You'd think after all that, there'd be some real appreciation, gratitude, maybe even pride. But no. My younger brother Noah, 22 and still grinding through his second attempt at sophomore year at the State University in Lincoln, had become my unofficial dependent. While his peers were juggling part-time gigs or loans, Noah had me, reliable Ava, footing his tuition, meal plans, books, and the endless emergencies, a fried laptop 1 month, surprise fees the next. Always something. It hadn't started this way. 10 years ago, Dad's construction accident left him with chronic back pain that ended his full-time work. Mom's part-time shifts at the local pharmacy barely kept food on the table. When I landed my first post-college job, wiring money home felt right. It was what family did. I remembered Dad's proud voice on the phone those early calls. You're making us all so proud, kiddo. But over time, help turned into habit, then expectation. Calls became demands. Thank yous grew rare, replaced by casual reminders about due dates. I became less daughter, more safety net they tapped without thinking twice. This birthday felt different. 34 wasn't a big milestone, but after nailing that launch and pocketing a bonus, I craved connection, real family time. I pictured us at a nice steakhouse in Denver, toasting with wine, laughing like the families I saw on my coworkers' social feeds. 2 months out, I called home. Mom picked up sounding distracted, probably mid-soap opera. Hey, Mom. My birthday's coming up March 15th. I was hoping you, Dad, and Noah could fly out. I'll cover flights, hotel, everything. We could explore the city, have a proper celebration. There was a pause. Then the familiar excuses. Flights were pricey. Dad's back was flaring. The same back that somehow allowed weekly card games with buddies. I'll pay for it all, I said quickly. Just want us together. Another muffled talk in the background. Well, if you're handling everything, the emphasis on everything should have been a red flag. Next, I reached Noah between classes, background noise more like a crowded cafe than lecture hall. Yo. Ava. What's good? Birthday thing? That's a Thursday, no. Saturday. Yeah. Maybe if the ticket's covered. I agreed to send cash, so he could find deals. I even transferred extra, for flexibility. First class if it helped his anxiety. Mom followed up days later with rapid-fire texts during my work meeting. She had nothing to wear for the fancy dinner. Dad's suit was ancient. Appearances mattered in my big city life. $1,000 later. Wired without much pushback. They were supposedly set. "You're such a good daughter," Mom said. The words rang hollow even then. I dove into planning. Booked a private room at an upscale downtown grill known for its steaks and wine list. Picked Dad's favorite Cabernet. Ordered a custom cake with edible gold accents. Hired a photographer for genuine family shots. My assistant noticed the frenzy. "This is costing a lot." "Ava. You sure?" I brushed it off. "It's worth it." Been 3 years since they visited. The weeks blurred in hopeful prep. I cleaned the guest room. Stocked favorites from childhood memories, Dad's coffee brand, Mom's preferred snacks. Took Friday off. But texts went unanswered. Flight confirmations never came. By Friday noon, silence. Airport pickup with a handmade sign yielded nothing. No flights matched. The drive home was numb. Waiting at my door was that envelope. The coupons spilled out like a punchline. The note's cheeriness mocked me. Then the text rolled in. Mom asking if I got the thoughtful package. Noah posting beach pics from Miami. Beer in hand. Tagged with friends. Geolocation screamed Florida spring break. Mom. No one needed a break. Family takes care of family. I laughed bitterly in my empty apartment. Wine glass in hand. The bottle I'd saved for dinner now opened alone. The grill called about the reservation. I canceled. Deposit lost. The photographer's call went to voicemail. As sunset painted the Rockies gold, I sat amid my preparations and felt the years of one-sided giving crash down. The wonderful text was my quiet declaration. Enough. The next morning, my actual birthday, more photos flooded in from Noah, parasailing over turquoise water. Jet skis cutting wakes, his grin wide under the Miami sun. Each image landed like a fresh sting, timed perfectly to underscore my place. Provider, not priority. My chosen family, real friends who showed up, turned the evening into something salvaged. Sarah brought cupcakes. Brad and his wife a spa voucher. Janet hugged me. Their loss. We shifted to pizza and wine in my living room. Laughter helped, but the undercurrent was there. Brad asked about my family. Change of plans, I said lightly. Sarah scrolled and gasped at Noah's yacht video. Best spring break, thanks to family. The room quieted. Janet connected us. The flight money. The clothes cash. The vacation instead. I fetched the envelope. Expired coupons spread across the coffee table like evidence. Gasps all around. Brad checked. The store shuttered months ago. Sarah pulled up flight prices. Round-trip Lincoln to Denver around $350 today. I'd sent $1,200 plus $1,000 for outfits. The math was damning. Mom's Facebook post that morning praised Noah's hard work, needing a break. Subtly shading anyone who didn't understand family. The dig at me was clear. Rage simmered as I recalled years of transfers, mortgage, tuition, car fixes, medical claims that vanished when golf season hit. Over 5 years. Nearly $200,000. Enough for my own house. Vacations. Security. Scrolling Noah's feed revealed concerts. Upscale dinners. Designer clothes, all funded by me. A December post joked about Mom grabbing closing store coupons for great gifts. The pieces locked into place. Texts confirmed more lies. Noah had moved off campus months ago. Pocketing housing refunds I'd unknowingly funded via Mom's account setup. I called Dad directly. His surprise was genuine when I mentioned the coupons and clothes money. He knew nothing. Mom handled finances. The altitude excuse for skipping the flight crumbled against his recent Gulf posts. Silence stretched when I asked about refunds. He deferred to Mom. Something realigned in me that night. The fog lifted. I listed every automatic payment, every tie. It was time to sever them, not quietly, but deliberately. They had humiliated me with absence and trash gifts. Now they'd face consequences. Sunday. I posted facts on Facebook. Wonderful celebration with friends who showed. Family used my flight and clothes money for Noah's Miami trip instead, sending expired coupons from a closed store. Attached photos. Coupons. Noah's beach shot. Mom's mortgage reminder text. Comments exploded, shock from old classmates, colleagues, relatives. Instagram followed, Noah's video captioned with the truth about the flight money. Mom called frantically within minutes. I let it ring. Text demanded takedowns. Private family matter. You're embarrassing us. Noah messaged. Friends are seeing it. I was humiliating him. My reply, humiliating like expired coupons on my birthday while vacationing on my dime? Dad called. Mom was upset. Take posts down for family's sake. Family stayed in Florida, I countered. He offered a hollow apology. I wanted nothing. The post gained traction. Cousins sharing past stories of cruises funded mysteriously. Aunts confirming patterns. Mom countered with her post, disappointed in me. Attacking over misunderstanding, accusing selfishness after their sacrifices. Friends jumped in. Janet noted the theft-like swap. Brad reminded of 5 years of mortgage payments. Public opinion turned against their gaslighting. Grandma messaged support by a cousin. Proud of me standing up, Mom learned taking from her own father. Love isn't dollars. By evening, support poured in stories of similar abuse. Advice on boundaries. But the real turning point was Monday's doorbell. Through the peephole, Mom.
Dad.
Noah with suitcases. Smiling like nothing happened. Surprise visit. Better late than never. The audacity stole my breath. I cracked the door, but kept the chain. Surprise. Mom beamed. Fake designer bags swinging, likely bought with my cash. We decided to come anyway. Better late. Noah, sunburned and hungover, complained about the hallway heat. Dad shifted awkwardly. They claimed they flew back from Florida yesterday. Drove all night from Nebraska. Effort after exposure. Damage control, I said flatly. Not love. Mom's voice cracked with rehearsed tears. We're here now. Isn't that what you wanted? What I wanted was presence when it counted. Not theft. Not lies. Noah apologized half-heartedly about the beach, but whined I always had money, while he never got fun. Mom insisted family order meant children supporting parents. I countered. I wasn't their child anymore.
Just their robbed bank.
They denied stealing refunds, expenses. Dad's shock at the cruise mention revealed more cracks. A neighbor peered out. Mom hissed about privacy. I refused entry. Where do we go? No hotel money. I suggested they figure it out like they did Miami. Noah took a call, muttering insults about me being difficult. Mom dropped the mask. Children take care of parents. Natural order. I'm the cow you've milked, I shot back. They knocked. Pleaded. Threatened for 10 minutes. Mom wailed for the floor to hear. Noah cursed. Dad stayed mostly silent, the quietest betrayal. Eventually, silence. They left. Back inside. I acted. Canceled mortgage autopay. Removed them from insurance. Changed contacts. Blocked numbers. The bank called Tuesday to verify cancellation. 5 years consistent. Never late. I confirmed. Wednesday. University emailed. Noah's tuition discontinued. Withdrawal deadline end of month. Forwarded to him. Panic escalated. Mom made new accounts, desperate pleas about losing the house. Threats of hell.
Guilt about grandma.
Dad's voicemails pragmatic, mortgage calls. Noah evicted. Mom's chest pains. I remembered her faked illnesses. Cousin Linda reported they showed at her place begging, claiming I'd lost my mind. She told them to work like everyone else. Their narrative twisted. My mental breakdown. Cult. Drugs. Anything but truth. Noah dropped out. Moved home. Worked Mom's grocery store. Irony sharp. 3 weeks later. Dad's letter. Foreclosure looming. Noah depressed. Mom crying daily. I destroyed the family. I read it twice. Waiting for guilt. None came. Only freedom. I drafted a reply but never sent. I didn't destroy us. I stopped enabling dysfunction. They chose lies over truth. Taking over giving.
I chose myself. 6 months on.
They downsized to a small apartment. Noah griped online about hard life. Mom sold items on Marketplace, stuff my money bought. Dad took part-time work despite his back. Surviving without me. A year later, I turned 35 in Italy. 2-week solo trip. Rome's ancient stones. Florence's art. Venice's canals. Real smiles. Posted photos. Mom commented from burner account. Nice while family struggles. Someone replied, nice to steal from your daughter, then play victim. I appreciated the stranger. That was 2 years ago. I've blocked every channel. Changed numbers.
Moved.
Late nights. I sometimes wonder if too harsh. Then I remember worthless coupons. Miami photos on my birthday. Years reduced to ATM status. Those coupons sit framed in my office, a reminder. Visitors ask about the weird art. Best gift my parents gave, I say. Taught me some value, only what you provide. Stop giving. See real love versus using. Frame cost more than coupons ever saved. Worth every cent. They stood frozen as I closed the door. Chain clicking final. Knocks faded. That night. Therapy started weeks later, helped unpack guilt layers. I journaled every transfer. Every ignored milestone. The bung no came not in shouting, but in quiet power of no. Their struggle wasn't my cross. Noah's grocery job humbled him publicly. Mom's sales posts desperate. Dad's part-time shifts proved the bad back flexible when necessary. I thrived, promoted, saved aggressively, dated casually, without financial drain. Mountains hikes replaced anxiety. The moral echo. When does family duty end? When love becomes ledger. I chose self-love. Visitors still ask about framed coupons. They taught the hardest lesson. Boundaries aren't cruelty. They're survival.
2 years free.
I wonder their whereabouts occasionally, but don't search. Blocked avenues protect peace. Italy photos still draw occasional venom from old accounts. Quickly silenced. The question lingers for listeners. Have you drawn the line with family taking without giving? What would you frame as your reminder? My story ends not in victory parade, but quiet strength, knowing I finally matter to myself most. The coupon's frame gleams under office light, a trophy of reclaimed life. Thank you for listening to this chapter of mine.